Lagos. Welcome to another interesting episode of Amazing Amazon on Captain TV, coming from the city of Lagos. Hope you enjoyed the last episode of the show. Yes, I'm back again on your screen. You know what we do on the show? We bring to you great content. We bring to you Amazons who share their story behind their glory. So welcome on board. Call your friends, neighbor, brothers and sisters, and tell them that it's about to get started on Amazing Amazon. Welcome on board. I am Tosin Adeyemi. Today we will be talking about children. As we all know that children are the heritage. They are our heritage. Yes, the heritage of the Lord. Yes, I'll put it that way. Children are important. Children are special. So we need to pay attention to the nurturing and care for our children, making sure that all children matters regardless of their physical abilities or financial abilities. We know some children are disadvantaged in the area of poverty, not giving them the right access to proper education. So today we'll be talking about these factors and how we can include all of these children into the right nurturing and care. So today I'll be speaking with my guest, who is an NGO practitioner that focuses on child care and nurturing. She's been in it for 38 years, so she's got experience that she will be sharing with us, and also how we can include these children into the normal nurturing, education, and all of that. So join me on the interview segment. Yeah, welcome back. This is the discussion segment, where we get to have a chit chat with our guests. And my guest for today is an NGO practitioner who is based on care, development, and education of rural urban slum with disadvantaged children. She has been in the child care and nurturing for 38 years. She's also a writer. In fact, she's so many in one, yes. So meet my guest for today in person of Mrs. Omolara Otujo. I hope I pronounced the surname correctly. Yes. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
It's nice to meet you too.
Thank you. And you're looking good as well.
Your face is
shiny. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, let's meet you. Let's know you. Who is Mrs. Omolara Otujo? For the benefits of those watching.
Okay. I'm Mrs. Omolara Otujo. I'm based, nurtured in Lagos State, but I was born in Ibadan, Oyo State. Because my mother is a Lagosian, my father from Ogun State, Abeokuta. And my biography is in this book.
Okay, in this book that you wrote.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I say you're also a writer. Yeah. Okay, but for the benefit of those watching us and do not have access to this book, that's why I wanted to just give us like a summary of yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Omolara Otujo. I'm the founder and executive director of this non-governmental organization, namely Community Child Education and Development in Nigeria, which was founded, it was established in 1994, but was registered in 1996. So I possess BSc Maths Education from University of Lagos, a professional certificate, a professional diploma in statistics from University of Ibadan, a postgraduate in computer programming from USA, National Bureau of Census in USA. And I worked briefly, before the establishment of these NGOs, I worked in the Federal Office of Statistics in Lagos, Unicon, Lagos. I worked with National Census Board, which was established in 1972 at Alima Shaun, Surulere, for the benefit of computerized national census in 1973. Then, after the 1973 national computerized census, I worked with Shell BP, Shell Petroleum in Lagos. After that, I had no choice but to resign and concentrate on my NGO for children, care of children, development, and education since 1983 to date.
Wow. 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 I must say that is huge. And to also know that you are a mathematician. Yes, because you say you have a degree in that as well.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's really, really huge and great. Okay, yes, you marked your 80th birthday a few weeks back.
Right.
So how would you describe, how do you feel clocking 80?
Clocking 80 is just the grace of God, because I went through so many things, challenges, both as a in the marital era, in my education, because I didn't even know I would be educated at all. My mom told me she has no financial strength to send me to even secondary school, that I should just go into, what they call the modern school in those days. It's just after primary. But I was lucky. We were asked to take examination to Queen's School, and I was lucky to be admitted into Queen's School, Ede, 1957. And that is British-sponsored school, so it was heavily subsidized. So I went through that with the help of God. But I wasn't even thinking I should go for HSC. We had HSC in our time. 2 years.
What does
HSC,
that stand for?
Higher School Certificate.
Okay.
2 years. It's like A-level.
Okay.
It's like A-level, but it's 2 years after secondary school. But I wasn't thinking I would be able to go. But suddenly, 2 years or so before we finished, we then learned that Nigeria is lack of scientists. And therefore, that is the evolution of Federal Emergency Science School. So we took examination, and I was one of those admitted for Federal Emergency Science School A-level.
Wow.
Not only that, we were not going to pay school fees.
It was free.
It's full scholarship. Not only that it is free, we were paid the salary we would earn if we were working with school certificate. Because they were looking for scientists. So we were the lucky ones. After the A-level, my mates went to university. I couldn't go. So my mom took me to a cousin to employ me, and I was employed in the Federal Office of Statistics. In the Federal Office of Statistics, in those days, if you are newly employed, you will spend at least 3 years to be permanent staff.
Like 3 years training?
No, not training. As a staff.
Okay.
You are temporary.
Okay.
Until after like 3 years.
Like being on the watch list or probation, something like that. Okay.
So I was there. But suddenly, there was this, that they need statisticians. We had Indians coming in. So there was a training school at the office. I was one of those. And because of the way I performed and some other people performed, they thought of having a diploma, a professional course at the University of Ibadan. And I was lucky to be one of those who will be at the University of Ibadan for professional diploma in statistics.
Wow.
And when I got there, I met my mates who had gone before me. So we became classmates again.
Wow.
So after finishing the performance professional diploma in statistics, we had to go back to the office. It was in-service training. And you will serve 2 years bond, not working elsewhere, except in that office. And we were loyal at that time. So we went back. But I suddenly saw the advert on computer programming, and I was wondering, what is this? So I joined part-time computer programming at the University of Lagos under Dr. Fagbemi at that time. This was a 10-week computer programming where I studied computer language Fortran. Fortran is related to mathematics. We had some group in COBOL, but I did Fortran. So when we finished, it's part-time. After office, I would go there. Then suddenly, there was federal government said they want to computerize national census for 1973. So they asked us in the office, who is interested in computer programming? I had been doing that on part-time.
Yeah.
So I was the first to say to show interest. So they sent us, those of us who are interested, to IBM for training. It was easy for me to go along with the training. And we had COBOL, Fortran, Assembler. Assembler is, I think, is now nearer to coding now because it's close to machine language.
Okay.
So they screened us after 3 months. I was lucky to be one of the 6 that was recommended for further computer programming in USA.
Wow.
So that's how I got myself in USA for the first time, going out of the country.
That was what year?
That 1972. That was 1972. So we had the training for 8 months. 8 months is one session.
Okay.
But it's not in the university, it's a Bureau of Census. So we happened to be I was the only female out of the 6. Then we came back, we did the national census in 1973, and I don't think we ever had a computerized national census since then to date. So after the census, we have to go back because we were on secondment to national census. That one was at Animasham. We had to go back to Federal Office of Statistics. And when we went back, there was no place for, now we were interested in computer programming. So we all found our way out, and I found my way to Shell BP in the Information Communication department.
I really can now understand why you are a writer and you must have written a lot of books, because I'll say that you have passed through a lot of training, home and abroad. So you have a lot of experiences. You must have gathered so many experiences, and I'm sure that you are going to be giving us some of the things that you have learned, that you have gathered in the 80 years. But now, before we move further towards that direction, climbing this milestone of 80 years, what are you mostly grateful for? What can you say you are mostly grateful for at this time of your age?
Oh, I'm very grateful. To God be the glory. Because I wasn't even, here is somebody who thought he wouldn't even go to secondary school. And then see me outside the country studying for the first time computer science, and so I'm very grateful to God. And actually, the initiative of NGO now came to my mind. I wasn't thinking it was an NGO then. I'm being guided, I believe, by the special grace of God. We were to move Shell BP department to Oil Center, Port Harcourt, Warri. How will I start moving my children? Will I move my husband? So I decided I would resign. So with all the money, there's money in Shell, but I decided I would resign. I thought these private schools, daycare, they are making enough money at least to keep them going in their house. So I decided, and I have interest in children all the time, all my life. So I decided to set up a daycare center.
Okay. Before we go into setting up the daycare center, I would like you to also, because we are still coming to that direction properly, and that will be on the second part of the interview.
Okay.
But for this segment, we want to know you better. So now, you just came back to the country. Tell us what took you outside the country and what you were doing there and what brought you back. Okay. And do you have the intention of going back?
No. I've been going on holidays.
Okay.
Sometimes on training. When I had started this NGO, like Save the Children had taken me to UK. And but my children are one in UK, the other in Canada, and he needed my assistant at that moment. 20, I've been going and coming.
But this last
last one needed my assistance for the care of the children. He wanted to go into full-time job.
Okay.
He got the full-time job, but she was putting the children under the care of some people.
Nannies.
Yeah, on some people, not even nannies. Because where she got the full-time job was a bit far from where they were living.
Okay.
So I wanted to go and spend some few months until end of that section 2020, which ends in June 2020. And then I will come back to I like Nigeria. My people, my social,
yeah.
you know. And so I left in February 2020, with the hope of coming back end of June, when they are on holiday and she can transfer her children to the venue where she now got a job, full-time job.
Okay.
But come March 2020, there was lockdown.
Oh.
COVID-19.
COVID-19 lockdown.
Everybody stay in your house. Oh. But I still enjoyed few times I went to Canada, I joined an NGO, namely African Grannies.
So you joined an NGO
over there.
Okay, just because the lockdown kept
Before
you there.
the lockdown.
Okay.
Before the lockdown, I already, when I was going on holidays, coming back, when he gives birth, I will go for 1 month or two, come back. So I joined an NGO then.
What did you call it again?
African Grannies.
African Grannies.
They take care of refugees, especially when it's a Saint Louis Foundation. They take care of Africans, refugees, especially from Congo. After that problem in Congo.
Okay, so when did you return?
I was there.
When did you return?
I returned just on the 27th of June.
Wow. So you spent like
over
2.5 years.
While I was there, I had problem. Visa expired. Passport expired.
Wow.
And the embassy closed. Where I will renew the passport was closed. But when it was opened, and they saw me, Mama, 1, 2, 3, few minutes, they have given me new passport. And without renewing the passport, I cannot extend visa. So that took time. And they extended my visa in Canada, which will expire by end of August.
All right, thank you so much. I haven't given us like a sneak peek into your background, family, and all of that. We'll be going on a short break now. So when we return, we'll talk more about what your organization focuses on, and we'll also talk about why you're so passionate about children. So viewers, stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Yeah, welcome to the second part of the interview segment. Yes, with 39 years experience in childcare nurturing, tell us why you are so passionate about childcare nurturing and all of that. Why are you passionate about it first, to begin with?
To begin with, it is my passion, because when I was very young, I was given, what they call omolangidi.
Omolangidi. Did I pronounce it well? I've heard it, but I can't remember what's that.
This time baby doll. Yes. But it was made with wood.
Okay. Okay.
I like to use it, back it.
Okay, while you were younger, like
so, and again, my mom, anytime I had another sibling, I asked her to give me to back. So when she's cooking or doing any house chores, she will back them. She will back the baby on me, and then she will sit me down close to her. I enjoy backing. I enjoy caring for babies.
That was when you were even very younger?
Yes.
Wow.
And I had like 5 other siblings after me.
Okay. You're the first?
I'm the first. So I was caring for them. I love caring for them. Even I would do the whole house chores.
Without waiting for them
to come and do it. So you see, but as I told you, as soon as I thought of not going to Warrior or Port Harcourt, the first thing I thought of was childcare.
Childcare. Okay, now I want you to tell us, what is nurturing when it comes to child development, so we can have an understanding? What is nurturing when it comes to child development?
Let me first of all tell you what is not nurturing. when you are not caring for the child, you are not nurturing. When you are not giving the child the right food, you are not nurturing. When you are not caring about the health, even the environment, you are not nurturing. Because children study right from environment. So nurturing is adequate preparation of environment, adequate caring for health. No, don't wait until the child is sick before you take the child to the hospital. Regular checkup of the health of the child. Then physical, emotional, create good emotional environment for the child. So physical environment, emotional, cognitive. You don't have to get a book before you start nurturing your child cognitively. Even the chairs in your sitting room, count how many chairs. You have this chair. What is the shape of this chair? You can have rectangle, you can have this one, square. So nurturing starts from home. And the parents, I mean both mother and father, they start nurturing their children from home. Don't say because you are paying how many. That is the duty of the teacher.
Like you pay 500,000 naira as school
So
fee.
you see,
you leave the work to the teachers
to the
alone.
teacher. No, the first teacher is the parents.
And it's what you train your child on
that you will build on.
Yes.
You will build on it. Even the fingers, like this. You see your child drawing, don't stop it. I can draw chicken with my palm, this palm.
How is that possible?
Bring a paper.
Like drawing?
Draw is, okay, I have a space here.
Like drawing a
chicken.
Okay. Can use this, let's see.
What does it look like? I put
it's beginning to look like it.
So,
wow, this is lovely. You're also an artist, yeah. Can you see this? Wow, this is nice.
When your child is trying to do something, watch first.
What that child is passionate about, the skill.
And try to learn from the child. It's not usually the other way around. It's both.
Okay, so now I want you to talk about, we're talking about children generally, because I'll say that it's uncalled for parents to give birth to a child and not nurture or train or care for that child. So, but when we are talking about disadvantaged children, what makes a child disadvantaged?
There are many things that make the child disadvantaged. Poverty is one. Ignorance. The parents might be ignorant of what to do, especially young mothers, young parents. Emotional, psychosocial environment, all these matter to make to make the child disadvantaged. It's a disadvantage because she cannot cope with the environment, or parents cannot care for the child appropriately.
Okay, now I want to pick it up from where you stopped. Now, parents not caring for their child appropriately. You talked about poverty. That what can make a child disadvantaged is poverty is part of it. Does it have to do with maybe like sending your child to a private school or public or a federal school? Does it mean that if your child attends maybe like a public school, can we say that child is disadvantaged? Or
No.
what do you mean by poverty being a factor?
You know, the poverty level here, it is a factor of creating disadvantaged children. But we can improve on it. If you send your child to a public school, it doesn't mean that it's because you are poor. Our government can make better environment, even in the public school, such that even their own children and my children will go to the public school. It should be a school that is full of all necessary things.
That is conducive for learning.
Conducive for learning. And you learn in many ways. Using the 5 senses: your sight, your smell, your taste, your hearing, your feeling. That's where learning starts.
Okay. Now, what do you think parents of this age need to understand about childcare? You know, the way we care for our children nowadays in this age is quite different from your own time. So can you like differentiate like the way it was during your time and how it is now? Is it the same way? Is there any change?
It's not the same way. In our own time, there was even more of whipping. They whip you if you don't listen. In our own time, they don't allow you to, and as my mother would say, gbogbo ohun tójú bá rí kọ́ lẹnu sọ.
Not what
Not
the eye
every
sees
thing
that you say. Yeah.
But these days, children are allowed to ask questions. So we should adjust. If they allow them to ask questions, you might be able to know what they are thinking about, what their thoughts are, and you'll be able to correct that thought, or sometimes you'll be able to direct the thought. See? So parents had to move with the time. And that's why we need parental education.
Okay, talking about parental education. Now, before I want to take us back a bit about disadvantaged children, because in my own opinion, I feel we can classify children who do not have the financial ability, whom their parents do not have the financial capacity to send them to school as being disadvantaged. So how can we include these children? Because just according to the book you wrote, that all children matter, regardless of their background, regardless of what they are going through. So how can we include these disadvantaged children who do not have the opportunity to go to school, that hawks during school hours? How can we include them?
They hawk during school hours.
Yes.
Because of the ignorance of the parents. There are public schools around, but parents should be able to speak out. And be part of the the children, the community in which there are schools. I see that in this community, for instance, there is only one primary school. One. And how many children do we have of that age that should attend the school? They have given opportunity to other people to say, we have a school here and come and pay. And then sometimes some parents think it's prestige to say my child is going to private school, without looking at even what the private school is offering. The teachers, are they the right teacher in the private schools? And I can tell you that the public school had professional teachers, but they may not have enough equipment to let them practice their profession. Just like we have in the hospital.
Yeah.
We have professional doctors. But they have to work with the right equipment. The right equipment, the right environment, everything works outside Nigeria. My grandchildren were not attending public school, private school in Canada. We were attending public school.
So, but we cannot compare government school over there to Nigerians' government school, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So, about what really is the difference? What's over there that we cannot achieve here?
First of all, there is good policy making, which is effective. You cannot just say you have a school and there is no policy. Both before it is even registered, you have to meet some standard.
Are you talking about the government school?
Government school. The government school. The government school, creates standard for even private school to emulate.
Wow. Okay.
So you can see why only children of maybe prestigious people go to private school. Then the staff are professionals. You cannot employ just a school sat or HND in engineering to come and do education. You have to be in education profession. That's another thing we need to look at in Nigeria.
So now talking about schools, because if you want to involve these children into the education system properly and make them have equal access to education. Now you talked about government schools. They can enroll their children as government schools. Mm-hmm. Now, how can we put these schools in shape? Because it always seems as if things are not possible to achieve. Though we know of some government schools that they have good equipment, the infrastructure is there, but it's not enough. Is not enough. So what do you think the government can do more so that even government schools will be conducive, even for parents to send their children over there? Just like what you said, that over there, the government school, you said in Canada, right? Mm-hmm. That they have set a standard that even private schools emulate. So how can we make that happen here in our own country?
We can make it happen if our policymakers want to do that. It depends on what they feel like doing. and it must be effective. Monitoring and evaluation of schools is necessary. I went to a school that collapsed before I left. I saw that this school, it shouldn't even be, is not conducive for a school. The building itself. So government should have been part of it. If you want to establish a school, involve government in the building of the school with all structures that are necessary. A house for residential cannot just suddenly become a school because they have different features.
And the structure is quite different.
Yes.
But first, we need to understand our value system first. Do you think we have value for education in this part of the country? Because that is more important. Because that's like the foundation of it.
Yes, we don't have. Even we had to work hard. My network foundation had to work hard to even make Nigeria to look at education as priority. We must invest heavily in education because without education, no other things can stand.
Yes.
Even the 17 SDG, without quality education, none of them can meet up by the year 2030 that we are saying. Is it without education, no zero hunger? That's SDG 2. Good health and every other thing in the, I have this is the SDG 17. Without quality education, we cannot meet up. And this is because our leaders, they have their own way of training themselves. You see, the masses are not really in their care. If God helping us, if we are able to choose right again, maybe we'll be able to meet up. They are traveling, right. They are seeing it, they are seeing what is happening in other countries. Yes. And I thought when they come back, they will emulate. But nobody is doing that.
I believe that's one of the reasons for going on tourist visits. At least go outside the countries, look at the way things are done properly, especially education, how they put everything in place, and try to bring it down to our country to make it work for us.
To make it work.
But it all seems like it's not working for us, and it's working in other countries. Okay, now because of our time, we are behind time. Yeah. So if there is one advice you'd like to pass on to the younger ones and people watching right now as we begin to wrap up, so what would it be?
I would say we should listen to children. We are not listening to them. The voice of the child, we will be the speaker. Listen to the voice of the child. Speak for the child. Not, when I say the child, it's not just your biological child. The community child, the nationwide, all children, and see, help them. So disadvantage is different from children in need. Some children are not disadvantaged, but they are in need. Like hearing impairment,
Yeah.
sight
Sight
impairment. It can
impairment.
be with a millionaire.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So he's not in need. But I mean,
It's
he's
not
not
disadvantaged,
disadvantaged,
but in need.
but in need. But those living in the slum, who speaks for them? So we should all of us, as parents, as elders, should speak for the children.
Thank you so much. On that note, we'll begin to wrap up the show right now. Thank you so much for your time. And finally, concerning the book you wrote, All Children Matter. So I think this is a take home to everyone, that all children matters a lot, and we need to care and nurture them accordingly, equally. Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, viewer, thank you for staying with us. Yes, you've heard our guest for today saying this is the take-home word, that all children matter, both disadvantaged children, children in need. We need to give them equal access to education, equal opportunity. We see children who go on scholarships. These children also, they should be included in this system. So I believe that the affected stakeholders, parastatals, government especially, should prioritize our education, should place value on our education, because this is the only way we can grow. And we should invest heavily into our education sector, so that our children will not say they want to leave the country and go outside the country to get education. But it's so important for us to work on the educational system of our country, so that our children will stay back and grow the country. So on this note, we wrap up the interview segment. We'll take the quote for today. Thereafter, we wrap up the show. Stay with us. Yes, thank you so much for staying with us. Yes, that was our guest, Mrs. Omolara Otujo, speaking on nurturing disadvantaged children and how we can include them into the educational system, and making sure that all children are included in the educational system, making them have equal access to education. Yeah, this is the much we can take on today's episode of the show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. So till I come your way again next weekend, I remain your host, Tosin Adeyemi. Bye for now.